No, I won't try to bang the desk. Bonjour. Can you see me? Vous m'entendez? Vous me voyez? Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. Ok. Bonjour tout le monde. Est-ce que vous me voyez? Est-ce que vous m'entendez? Est-ce que tout va bien? Bonjour Dharma. Bonjour Dina. Bonjour AP Records. Bonjour Suyong, Javed, Nada, Are You? Bonjour Kirk Pew. Oh my god, what's happening? Ciao Alex, bonjour, bonjour tout le monde, that's Kat. Okay, I'm going to try to answer as many questions as possible today over the next 30 minutes, so fire away if you have any question. Bonjour Fatima, I love the hearts. I love the hearts. Bonjour Ethan, bonjour Anastasia, Wad, bonjour Magnus, and bonjour, Beren Ratman. Okay, I've got a very good question from, bonjour. I've got a very good question from Dharma Yafi. And so I'm going to start with this one, okay? And this one, what is due exactly for? Oh, that's a good one as well. So I'm going to try to answer this question as well, okay? So let's start with these two questions. J'aime ta chaîne, je t'aime, I love you too. Bonjour. How do you pass A1 level with help of your channel? Okay, so we've got a lot of questions here, okay. Do you know what? Before I answer, so I'm going to make a note for myself. So let's talk about the gerund. Number 2, let's talk about do. And number 3, about A1 level. And another one asked, but how do you become fluent? Okay, and how long to become fluent? Okay, so we've had, I might just concentrate on that. Champion du monde, yes, we are the champion du monde. I still with the masculine and feminine thing. Okay, bonjour India. I think that there's a lot of people out there that are from India, so bonjour à toute l'Inde, hello to all of India out there. Do you know what? I really would like to come and visit you all out there because I know that we are watched by a lot of you out there. Okay, so hello, bonjour. And again, when to use de la, du, à la, au. Okay, that's definitely something we are going to have a look at. Now, Croatia is the best. Really? Bonjour au Niger, Nigérienne. Bonjour au Niger. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show you and I'm going to make myself really small here. Are you ready? Here, small. And this is a list of things that I would like to do with you today. Let's start by, what am I going to concentrate on? Let's start by, let's have a look, the A1 level. Okay, let's start by A1 level because I know there is a lot of you from India that need to pass a certain test and level in French in order to be able to enter speaking countries such as Canada. Okay, now if you want to pass I think you need a B1 level. You really need to B2. These are the levels, okay, and then you've got C1, C2 levels. So this is known as a beginner's level. Now, beginner's level, you can reach a beginner's level if you watch all my YouTube videos, but I mean all of them and all 500 of them, okay. Now here, Anna Monroe is talking about B2 level. B2 is that much higher, okay. So this is B1 and B1, B2 is intermediate. Okay, intermediate. So you're the level where you can understand French. You can't necessarily speak it fluently, but you have grasp the tenses, some of them, up to probably the conditional tense. Okay, once you reach C1, C2, you are no longer an intermediate and you are an advanced level. Okay, in order to get to the B1 level, you need to have grasp the basics of the French. That mean, do I know how to talk in the past tense? Do I know how to talk in the future tense? Do I know how to answer questions and ask questions? Okay. Now, well done, Anna Monroe, for taking B1 exam because it is hard. Okay. So A1 level is beginners, I know how to say hello, bonjour, au revoir. I know je suis, tu es, il est, il a, and so on. And I know a little bit about the questions, okay? So if you want to become fluent, okay, and if you want to have grasp a really good understanding of French and be able to speak it, try to reach B2 level. And B2 level will allow you to make more complex sentences using negation as in je mange, je ne mange pas, but being able to put negation in the past tense. So, je n'ai pas mangé. And also in the past tense using a reflexive verb. Je ne me suis pas lavé, for example. So, we're talking about a variety of difficulties here in order to reach B2. So, the question one of you asked early on is how long does it take to be fluent in French? Well, how long is a piece of string? Long. Okay, so it depends on your commitment to learning the language and how many hours you're prepared to work per week. Now, my lessons are quite are good. I'm not saying they're not good. They're very good, but they are limited in that if you don't have the support on the other side, the practice with other people, then you cannot practice what you've learned with me. So I do recommend that you go through the first 50 lessons, the French Essentials they are called, in my YouTube channel. And that will give you such a great grounding about how to conjugate a verb and grammatical questions, everything about preposition, everything about adverbs. Okay, that is going to allow you to start building more complex sentences. And if you cannot practice that, it's going to be very hard for you to progress on. So find a French group that you can practice with. Find someone on Skype from France. You know, you've got very cheap services nowadays that you can actually use for to practice your French with. You know, but that is the best. Of French and negation and make questions is coming. Help me. Okay, KK videos. Maybe we are going to write this. So you have a problem with your negation, I can see. Yes, Zainab, the first 50 levels are A1/A2, okay, because some of the points that I cover are of A2 levels /B1, so you cover a little bit of B1 level. So do the first 50 lessons, and I can assure you, you will definitely improve, okay? Are required to speak. The tenses that are required to speak in French are all of them. Okay, so you have to be able to juggle between the present tense and the past tense and the future tense. Okay, so I would like now, so that's my answer to A1 and becoming fluent. Now let's have a look at how long. So I've done this. Okay, the gerund. Now let's have a look at the gerund. Okay, someone asked me at the beginning, but what is a gerund, and is it the same as is the verb the same as the noun? Okay, can I just point out first of all what a gerund is? We call them a présent participe présent. So let's take for example a verb such as parler. Okay, parler is to talk. Okay, to talk. Okay, in order, in English, the present participle or gerund of that word will be, so that's talk. Okay, it would be talking. So you would add an ing here, not as in the continuous tense I am talking, but as in talking French is good for you. Okay, so the way we do that in French and the way we transform the infinitive of the verb into gerund is adding ant. Okay, so parlant, en parlant, and quite often it comes with en in front of it. So en parlant le français souvent, en parlant le français souvent. So while talking French often, okay, on devient, so one becomes, on devient, on devient confident, on devient, not confident because that's not, on devient meilleur, we become meilleur, best, okay, dans la langue qu'on veut apprendre, okay, in the language you want to learn. So parlant. Now let's have a look. So that's the way you add ant. Now, to answer your question, and I can't remember the name of the person, but let's have a look of a word that actually becomes an adjective using the present participle form. So dégoûté, dégoûté. And that means to disgust. Disgust, okay. Disgust, okay. Il m'a dégoûté. But you wanted to say it's disgusting. And so in order to do that, you transform that verb into an adjective using the present participle form, the gerund. So in order to do that, you add, just like I said, ant. Dégoûtant. Okay? Dégoûtant. Can you see that? And suddenly it becomes an adjective. So quite often you have verbs that can be put into adjectives by adding ant at the end. Okay? So dégoûtant. Okay? So if you wanted to say it is disgusting, you would say c'est dégoûtant. But knowing that dégoûté is also the verb. Okay, and we've got lots of different verbs like that we can use, and that actually are not only verbs but can become an adjective as well. And no, they are not all, by the way, I can't remember who asked the question, they are not all exceptions. You can actually have a normal regular verb becoming an adjective, okay? I mean, because that's a question called like that on the top of my head, I can't think of any others, but that's definitely a lesson that I can do for you, okay? Now someone says, Shweta says, Madam, I get still confused with the masculine and feminine thing. I like the thing, feminine thing. Okay, so Shweta, there is no, and I repeat that, I repeat that all the time. There is no way of learning whether a word is feminine or masculine as such. All I can tell you is that any words that end in an "i", okay, such as, la fête, for example, la fête, the celebration, la fête, okay, is feminine, okay, but it works 75% of the time. So if the word ends with an "e", it is likely 75%, 3/4 of the time, 75% of the time, it is likely, okay, that it is a feminine noun. And if it has sillon, again, it is 99.9% likely to be feminine as well. However, if the word ends with, I'm going to put, for example, al, A-L, okay, such as le journal, it is 99% a masculine word, okay? So le journal, AL, okay? So it is likely to be a masculine. But to be fair, I would like you to, the best way to know whether a feminine or masculine, it's a feminine, is by when you learn the word, learn it with the article. So don't just say journal, newspaper, just say out loud le journal, the newspaper. And by saying le, you know that it is a masculine, okay? Do you know, it's really, really, really hard. Hello, dancing girl. Have you seen me dance? I'm not sure I'm the dancing girl. Okay. Okay. So anyway, that's the only way I could answer this question. So please have a look. There is a lesson on YouTube called "Why is knowing the gender of a word important?" But that might not tell you as such, whether a word is feminine or masculine, but it tells you that knowing whether a word is feminine or masculine matters, because everything agrees in French. Now, when I said agree, for example, I could say la fleur est bleue. No, I'm not going to say bleu. I'm going to say la fleur est petite. And you see what I've done here? I have added an E here. And why have I added an E? Because we are agreeing this adjective with la fleur. It is feminine, okay? If you had taken a masculine word, le stylo, see le stylo is masculine because we say le stylo est petit. Okay, so what happens here? We have not got an E here, absolutely not. We stick to the T because le stylo is masculine. And if you had talked about les fleurs, okay, les fleurs, and so suddenly les fleurs are no longer singular but plural, but they still remain feminine, then we add an S. Les fleurs sont petites. And the same for les stylos. And by the way, I say sont here. Why is that? Because we have to move the R, you know, the E's by R, and then we have petit here. Les stylos sont petits, okay? And this is why it matters. Why it matters to know whether the word is feminine or masculine, okay? Where state are you from? Okay, dancing girl. I mean, stop calling me dancing girl. Bonjour Maroc, Simo from Morocco. I'd love to go to Maroc, le Maroc. Anyway, so have we got another question? Next question we have, hello, is it right to say je suis Boriana, my name in French? Absolutely. You could say je suis Boriana, as in I am Boriana. It's fine if it's simpler for you. But the best way for you would say je m'appelle. Okay, je m'appelle Boriana. Okay, je m'appelle Boriana would be the most common. Okay, but equally you could say mon prénom, my first name is. Okay, Boriana, mon prénom est Boriana. So if someone said, comment tu t'appelles? You know, je m'appelle Boriana, mon prénom est Boriana et je suis Boriana. Dancing girl, je m'appelle Anshita. Ouais, well done, je m'appelle Anshita. Je m'appelle Alexa. Okay. Salman, I'm trying to answer your questions. Where is your question? Bonjour Philippines. Okay. Since we... Alexa, there are any examples that are similar to tu me manques. Oh, okay. I'm going to answer this question while someone else is trying to get me a question here. Do you know what? Tu me manques is a funny one. And I get confused as much as you do, by the way. Now, manque comes from the verb manquer, and that means to miss. Okay? So you could say, I missed my train. I've missed my train, okay? So you would say, j'ai manqué mon train. So, j'ai, and then you drop the R, okay? You drop the R here, and you add an accent. So, j'ai manqué mon train. I missed my train, okay? J'ai manqué mon train. But, okay, and this is where the problem is. When you use the idiom tu me manques, okay, tu me manques, it means, and I'm going to, there, because of this pronoun here, okay, it means I miss you, okay? So look what's happening here. Look what's happening here. Tu me manques. So, tu is here, okay? Me is here and manque is here. And that's why I still get confused with that, because it's the other way around in English. Okay, so you want to say to someone, I miss you, you would say, you miss me. You me miss. Okay, this is just bizarre. Okay, and I miss him will therefore, you start with he, il, and then me manque. Okay, il me manque. Can you say that? It's weird, and you know what? It's taking me a long time to get used to that. Okay, so that's all I can say about that. So tu me manques, I miss you. Okay, learn it like that. And I think that's how I learned it in English, because it was so confusing to me to say, I miss you, because it makes no sense to me. Okay, je te manque meant the other way around. Okay, so tu me manques, I miss you. That's all. That's all you have to say, really, and learn it like that. Another question. Matt X9212. Hey Alexa, any advice regarding hearing the difference between ils sont and ils ont? To me, they sound exactly the same. What is the difference in pronunciation? Good question, Matt. Matt. I don't know your name, but Matt. Okay, let's have a look at ils ont and ils sont. Okay, I hear the difference between the two, but ils ont means they have. Okay, they have, and ils sont is they are. Okay, first of all, they mean completely two different things. Okay, and second of all, the sound is very different. Listen very carefully, Matt. Ils ont, ils sont. Okay, so you have a Z sound here and you've got a double S sound here. Okay, ils ont, ils sont. Okay, can you hear the difference? Okay, and when you hear the Z sound, it's not necessarily because there is a Z written, it's because we do what we call the liaison. When you have only one S here and you have a word beginning with a vowel after that, you have to make the liaison, a liaison. So, ils ont, okay, ils sont. So, two different things here. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question. It's a practice thing. Okay, it's very much a practice thing. Okay, so next question, the thinker. Do podcasts help you a lot on becoming fluent in French? Do you know, it's like anything. Podcasts, films, radio shows, do they help you become? Yes and no. If you don't have any basics of French at all to start with, you are going to be thrown into the lion's mouth, like we say, dans la gueule du lion, without knowing anything at all. It will be very hard to understand what it means. Imagine me. I don't speak Indian, Hindi. I don't speak Chinese. I don't speak Japanese. These are languages that are completely alien to me. So put me in front of a podcast, in front of anybody who speaks Indian to me, and I would not. It would take me years before I can, understand what they are being said. But if I had some grounding, if I had some basics of grammar and a few words and a few intonations that I'm aware of, how to know yes and how to know no, how to know hello, and how to have some kind of code, social codes in their country, in Indian or in Chinese or in Japanese. I'm taking these languages because they are so drastically different from what I know. In Arabic as well, oh my gosh, they are so drastically different. Put me and make me listen to a podcast in these languages, I would not know at all what is happening. So, best advice, I would ask you to get some grounding of grammar, vocabulary, sound. The sound is a big deal. In French, we talk in a kind of a funny fashion. Alors, par exemple, je vais parler en français, on parle comme ça en français. Tu vois ce que je veux dire? So, ta 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 ta. Donc, on parle comme ça. On parle comme ça parce que la langue qu'on parle, c'est une langue qui chante. D'accord? So if you get used to that by listening to the podcast, okay, and then trying to understand the rules, I think you would have no problem getting used to it. And the more you practice, the grammatical rules, the more you will spot them in a sentence. Best way to learn, yes, listen to the podcast, listen to French films, listen to anything like that, but practice with someone that you know that is French or French speakers, okay? Okay, so les doigts gentils, the nice fingers. How do you pronounce the French word O. Ah, that's a funny one. Okay, so. Okay, I'm going to write un os. Do you know what an os is? It's bones. A bone as in a bone of your body, for example. An os is a bone. Okay, but there are some words that when you put them into the plural form, though it is the same spelling, the pronunciation varies. So un os, des os. So bones. Okay, so this is weird. So suddenly we have put this some, okay, a, some, and because it has been put in the plural, it is suddenly not the same pronunciation. So we no longer pronounce the S, we pronounce the des os. We don't say des os, we pronounce no the S. We say des os. So un os, des os. Okay, can you say that? Un os, des os. So a bone and some bones. Okay, so and another word that I can think of which is quite similar in terms of pronunciation is you may have seen this one, un œuf, an egg. Okay, un œuf. But when you put this into this plural form, okay, becomes des. Now you can try to do it. Des œufs. Des œufs. And here again we are listening to the z sound, okay? Des œufs, okay, because it ends with an S here and it begins with a vowel. And we don't pronounce the S, okay? Simo, can you answer my question if it's okay? Okay, very quickly. I know I've got another one. Simo, je vais aux États-Unis. See, that's another thing actually. Now, so are we okay with the pronunciation of os and o and œuf and e? Are we okay with that? Yeah. So it's a funny word. Good question, by the way. Good question. Very quickly, I'm answering Simo. He wants me to say how do you say this? Je vais aux États-Unis. Now, that's a good one actually because we have two liaisons here. Je vais au... No, what am I talking about? Au, the liaison is here, sorry. Yeah. There. Okay, je vais aux États-Unis. And that's interesting because we don't have the liaison here. Je vais aux États-Unis. We don't say that. Don't ask me why, because I'm not sure. So, je vais aux États-Unis is the way, Simon, we would say, I'm going to the United States. And you're going to say, but why? There is an X and not an S here. So, why is it? It's because the O-A-U-X, as in to the plural prepositions, will always be considered as an S, okay? So anything that you see with an X at the end is considered as plural and is pronounced as an S. So it is like saying aller, okay? But because we do not say aller, it doesn't exist. We need to put the contraction O in French, okay? So... And yes, Dharma, why do you sometimes pronounce S, X, etc. in a word such as plus, sis, dis, fils, etc.? It's such a good question. I mean, it would take me a long time to answer that, but sometimes the word is pronounced, sometimes it's not. For example, I'm just going... It's funny because this lesson is turning out to be about sound today, and that's quite interesting. If you take the word dis... Okay, again, it's a word that has an X after that, and we pronounce it S, okay? Alors, for example, you say, il y en a 10. Okay, here we go. So, il y a means there is or there are. En, of them. So, there are 10 of them. And because this ends the sentence, we pronounce the S. Il y en a 10. Can you say that? Il y en a 10. But if you wanted to say, I have 10 pens, j'ai 10 stylos. J'ai 10 stylos. Now that's an interesting one, is that because this suddenly is in the middle of the sentence and comes before the noun, we don't pronounce it. J'ai 10 stylos. You could say j'ai 10 stylos, but it doesn't sound right. J'ai 10 stylos. And you will hear it, but more likely a French person would not pronounce it. J'ai 10 stylos. Why? Because it's super hard for the ear. So when it's on its own, pronounce the S. When it's not, don't pronounce it. Okay? And the same for plus. Plus is different. Okay? Again, you could say j'en veux plus. I want more of it, of them. Okay, j'en veux plus. And here you pronounce the S. But when it doesn't have an S, when it doesn't have the S and je veux plus, je n'en veux plus, and it becomes a negation, you don't pronounce the S. So it becomes je n'en veux plus. Je n'en veux plus. Okay, very hard. I mean, I could spend hours doing a lesson on that. So I'm afraid I can't. But it's a very good point that sometimes the word with an S are pronounced, or X, and sometimes they are now not. But it's all about the context. Is it A in a negation? Is it B? Does it come before a noun? Does it come on its own? So that's a very hard question to answer. Is the passé récent the same as present continuous, and could we use it future? Okay, I'll try to answer this if someone writes it on my thing, please. Okay, now, Nikki Bowe says, what are some French cartoons I can watch to improve my French? Do you know what, Nico Way? It's a good question. I don't think cartoons are going to help you. In the way that sometimes in French cartoons, and like in any cartoons, you watch the Simpsons, for example. You watch the Simpsons. Okay, maybe you should watch the Simpsons in French. Okay, quite often the French cartoons and any cartoons have a lot are heavy in idioms and in jokes and in banter, and there is a lot of words that you will never know unless you're French, if you see what I mean. And even if you can have the best grammatical knowledge ever, I think cartoons will be really hard to understand. It's like watching comedies. Very hard to understand because there will be too much on the... What's the word I'm looking for? When you want to say something but you don't and you mean something else. Second meaning. There must be a word to that. And that's why cartoons will be very, very hard. But coming back to the Simpsons, if you know the Simpsons very well, then the context is that you can watch that episode in English and watch it again in French. And then you will understand exactly what's happening. I think it's better to watch something that is really common, like the Simpsons. I'm saying the Simpsons. And watch them in two languages if you can. Yeah, watch it in English first, watch it in French again. Okay, watch it in English again or in French again. Do that, but not necessarily all of the cartoon. Watch 10 minutes of it or 5 minutes of it. Okay. Now, Coco Albania, Alexa, is the passé récent the same as the present continuous, and could we use it like future? Please answer me. Please answer me. Okay. I recommend watching French extra series. Yes, absolutely. Anything goes. Okay, so Coco Albania. The passé récent, the same as the present continuous. Quite often, you have your own way of talking about the past. I'm not sure what a passé récent or recent past is. I reckon that a recent past could be the passé composé. And the present continuous, and we would like it like the future. Okay, I'm not sure I understand your question, but here's what I'm going to do. For example, I'm going to say je marche. Okay, so that means I walk. Okay, I walk. But it means as well I am walking. Okay, Do we agree with that? Yeah. Now, in English, you have two presents here. You've got the simple present here, but you've got here the present continuous. Okay, the present continuous. And the way I know this is a present continuous in English is because I'm using ing here and I'm using the auxiliary to be. In French, it does not exist, okay? In French, you cannot, absolutely not use the present continuous as in I and then am and walking. So what you need to do is always translate the simple present from English to the French if you wanted the perfect way of saying it. So don't try for a minute to say je suis and then marche. It doesn't work, okay? So je marche, I walk. Now, if you wanted to use it as a recent past, and I'm not certain what you mean by that, by the way, you would say j'ai marché. Now, j'ai marché is what we know as a passé composé, and it's used I have walked. Okay, I have walked. Here there is no ing, no continuous tense even in English, okay? Unless you want to say I was walking, then it's another past, it's the imperfect or perfect tense, okay? I walked, and that means I walked. Now, if you wanted, and I think your question is, what was it? Could we use it like future, present continuous? Okay. I think you mean near future. I'm not sure, but I think you need near future. So let's have another page. If you wanted to say, I am going to walk, and that's a future, okay? It's an action that is going to take place slightly later on, okay? Then you need to know how to say I am going, okay? And again, we don't have a continuous tense in French. You don't say am, you don't say going. So you translate it by I go to walk, okay? That's the way you would translate the sentence. So how do you say I go? It's je vais. And how do you say to walk? Well, you get rid of to, okay? We don't have this in French. Instead, yes, Batunan, well done. Je vais marcher. Well done, you. Well done. Yes, Batunan. Well done, you. So, je vais marcher. I'm going to walk, okay? And that is a near future. And that's the easy way for you to talk in the future, because talking in the future as in adding the right endings to the right pronouns, is really hard. So I would suggest you know this. Je vais, I go, or I'm going. Tu vas, il va, elle va, on va, nous allons, vous allez, ils vont, elles vont. If you know this by heart, and I really, really, really want you to know it by heart, okay, then you can talk in the future. Okay, it's called the near future. So how do you say I am going I'm going to watch a film. So je vais regarder un film. Okay, ou je vais voir, I'm going to see a film, okay? Je vais acheter, tu vas acheter des chaussures. You're going to buy shoes. Il va prendre le train. He's going to take the train. Il va prendre le train. Nous allons boire une bière. We are going to drink a beer. So you see, we are going to drink a beer. Vous allez écrire une lettre. You're going to write a letter, okay? Ils vont manger avec nous. They are going to eat with us. I'm sorry, you can't see. There you go. Ils vont manger avec nous, okay? So, that's pretty much the way we can form a near future. Am I answering your question, Coco Albania? Because your question is a bit hard to answer, to Anyway, to finish, can you do some video for French saying like thrown into the lion's mouth? Yes, absolutely. It's easily done. Okay. I can. You mean idioms? It's a very good question because quite often, and it's any languages, and I'm not sure where you're from. Maybe Russia. I don't know, but the problem in understanding language fully and being completely fluent is understanding banters, understanding jokes, understanding idioms. And I tell you, I've been in England for 25 years. I speak English with confidence, but I don't always get the jokes because they are so hard that some words don't make sense to me in a sentence. And I will do that if you want. Bulgaria. Hey, Dabri. I can't speak Bulgarian. I was going to say something clever. Bonjour à la Bulgarie. Hello from hello to Bulgaria. Okay, that was the last question. Now, maybe we can copy the unanswered question, answer them another time. Okay, that's what it says. Bonjour, Daniela. A bit late. I'm about to finish. Paris, India. Way. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to look at all your questions because I see that you're really interested. I see that there is a lot of interesting questions out there. I'm going to come back anyway very regularly after the summer holidays. So I will be here to answer as many questions as possible. And what I'm going to do is have a look at all your questions and hopefully answer them as much as I can in another session and probably maybe in one video. Okay, so that's it for me. Hopefully you have a wonderful time wherever you are in the world, and I send you all my love. Can you feel it? I'm sending you my love. I will hopefully see you super soon, and well done and thank you for coming to see me today. It's really cool, very very cool. Au revoir, à bientôt et puis bisous bisous. Salut, bye.